Sure to drop your elephants and your crowns in the chat. We will be starting shortly. If you haven't shared this live, be sure to share it on your social media. Guys, welcome to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. I hope you guys are doing well. Don't forget to like this video if you haven't liked it already. We are talking about the Real Housewives of Orange County. I watched it last night live on my TikTok exclusively, and then I watched it again this morning just to refresh my memory of all the ladies. But before we get into that, be sure to drop your elephants and your crowns and let me know where you're watching from. We're going to talk about this, and I will drop the call-in link for you guys to call in and share your thoughts on Orange County Season 16. You got to remember, this is the OG of the OGs. However, as Ramona would say, they weren't the ones to put Real Housewives on the map, but they are the OGs. So you got to give them the respect. And I'll be very transparent with you guys. I've said it multiple times. Orange County is the only city that I haven't gotten into over the years. I've watched all the other cities, including Miami and Dallas, the ones that people don't really watch or talk about. But I decided this season, because a lot of you told me last season, Kempire, don't watch it. It's not worth your time. And that was with Kelly Dodd. I know where the bodies are buried. I know some of the drama that's gone on with people like Vicky Gunvalson and things like that. However, I just didn't dive in. But all of you told me that I would love Heather Dubrow's home. And I do. Wasn't Gina all of us, though? Literally walking around like, oh my gosh, I should have worn my sneakers. Or something really, really comfortable. Or something really, really comfortable. Let me just say thank you so much, Vicky, for the super chat. Appreciate you. Happy December, my king. GBU, I love you. Thank you so much. Love you, Diana. Shimmy. Oh, Okay. Shout out to all of our mods, Diana, everyone that's in the chat. I appreciate you guys being here. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Orange County, guys. Look, a new season has started. It seems as if this season, I think it started off really good, but I don't have any sort of memory in regards to other episodes. I've seen like an episode here and there of the Real Housewives of Orange County, but I'm in. And part of the reason why I'm in is because of Noella. And I know some of you might not like Noella, but she's great for TV. She's great for TV. From the bat, she is so transparent. Based on her behavior after we found out about her husband, Sweet James, the attorney owing millions of dollars, allegedly, I'll say. Being so transparent after that news broke and being funny on social media, I said, this is one to watch. And based on what we got to see from Noella, I'm like, already, she's got a sex dungeon? She slept with her husband on the first date? I mean, as I always say, could she be my friend? Probably. I like her. I like her. Hold on one second, guys. Let me get my little image up because, I was also watching right before this, Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. There is a new episode. In case you didn't know, I'm giving everyone an opportunity to go watch it now. It was good. We will be recapping it later today at 5 p.m. Eastern. If you haven't joined our Texan community, head on over to our Texan community right now. Text Kempire.com for more details. I will send out a link later on today. There's already a link available right now on the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, but just in case you didn't get it and you want to make sure you get a notification, join our Texan community. We will be going live again at 5 p.m. Eastern to recap the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. This has been so good, y'all, but I'll save my thoughts on that in just a second. Hold on one second. I don't have my little stuff set up here yet. Let me just open it here. Here we go. There we go. These are the new housewives. Not Nicole. Even though this first episode really was about Nicole and her allegedly suing Dr. Terry Dubrow, who I've heard of Heather Dubrow before, and Fancy Pants, and I've heard of, the house, and I had no idea though that Dr. Terry Dubrow, who I know from Botched. I love Botched. I haven't watched in a while, but I used to love it. I had no idea that was her husband. And he seems messy too. Well, Nicole, who's not even a housewife, she's a friend of, this episode was all about her. I wonder why we didn't get her as a housewife. Is it because she's not really showing all of her life? Her home was really beautiful. She's good friends with Noella. I don't want to say good friends. Good friends on the show with Noella. She was the one who introduced Noella to the show, which is that usual for a friend of to sort of introduce to the show? Shout out to the production company that produces Orange County, because between the sound effects and the camera effects and the way that he just moves from scene to scene or create, I was like, I am loving the evolution of this franchise in a lot of different ways, at least when it comes to the production companies and how they're trying to tell a story in a different way. But I'm jumping all around. Let's start from the top. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the Real Housewives of Orange County. And if you enjoy content like this, you might want to subscribe. But if you also enjoy pop culture, be sure to subscribe to our Kempire Daily YouTube channel, but also subscribe to my podcast, Kempire Radio. A new episode will be coming out today. Well, technically new. Stay tuned for that. Kempire Radio on all major podcast platforms, but also follow us on Facebook, the Kempire and Kempire Daily on Facebook. And we're live on TikTok. TikTok, I have not forgotten about you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Keep tapping your screens. We are talking about the Real Housewives of Orange County. If you enjoy my reality TV recaps in under a minute, I've also posted a recap of the Real Housewives of Orange County. A quick minute version of what I'm about to give you guys here. All right, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Tamisha says, OC has always had better production. See? All right. Let me see. Mama Allie says, Shannon is still Shannon, hasn't grown an inch with her drama. We're going to get to Shannon. But Shannon, to me, Does Shannon have a drinking situation? I don't want to say drinking problem, but based on what we've seen, the flashbacks they gave us in this episode, based on her behavior this episode, a lot of you tell me because of her divorce, because her husband cheated on her, she also had a fabulous home. Not as fabulous as Heather Dubrow. Her acting all, this gives me such memories. Your house wasn't as fabulous as Heather. It was nice. It was very, very nice. Don't get me wrong. But it was a little bit more, traditional. Just saying. It wasn't as modern. Gina. Can we just talk? Can I just tell you from the bat? And this is coming from a newbie's perspective. I'm loving Gina and Emily. Their friendship seems very, very real. But I also love their personalities. Their personalities seem very, very real. But we'll get to Gina. Let me start from the top. So the production show, shout out to you guys that letting me know the production has always been good. Okay. But the reintroduction of Heather Dubrow in her home, coming out of her car, walking in her 22,000 square foot home, I was like, whoa. Because, they've talked about the home. She doesn't know how many rooms she has in the home. If I had a big home like that, I wouldn't care how many rooms I have in the home unless I'm selling it. Then I need to know. Other than that, why do I need to know how many rooms I have in the house? I wouldn't even sit there and try and count it, but I get for funny value, which we can appreciate. Heather does add what we love about the Real Housewives, a rich housewife who actually has a family, kids. It seems that her relationship with Dr. Terry Dubrow is actually genuine and beautiful. I love her kids. The flashbacks of how the kids grew up on the show. Still, no one's been able to tell me why exactly Heather decided to leave the show. But maybe you guys do. Leanne says, I'm going to YouTube for that house later. That window is crazy. I love the fact that we got a tour later. However, when I was watching it live on my TikTok, I said, that's a little tacky. It's a little tacky to be like, want to go to my house and get a tour? But a lot of you say that's Heather. Someone in my TikTok comment said, that she's not pretentious. That's just her personality. Being pretentious can be your personality. She is pretentious, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. I can see why people either love her or hate her. But for reality TV purposes, I enjoy it. Heather says she did that for Shannon. But did she do it in a catty way? Or did she do it because Shannon had been there during the whole building of it? I think she did it in a catty way. Because, their friendship has, they're on the mend, but as you can see from the previews for the season, that friendship is not going to last. Anyways, the reintroduction to Heather being back on the show, I thought was fantastic. I was like, whoa. And then meeting her kids and seeing the kids, how they grew up on the show and how grown they are now. I was like, this is what we love. She has a chef. She has a maid. I mean, you have a 22,000 square foot home. You need all of that. Goals. # goals. That will be me one day. Just saying. But some people don't like it. But when we talk about the Real Housewives franchise, these are the moments that we love. This aspirational moment. You know what I'm saying? I actually really do enjoy her home, and we'll get to the tour in a second. I wish I had more time before this live so I could have pulled up pictures of the home because they were gorgeous. But look, we have an entire season to go through. I'm sure the house that won't be the first or last time that we will see more into Heather's home. They literally gave us a tour, which I also cringed at the same time because yes, it's great to see it. But I was like, I hope she doesn't have Teddy Mellencamp's husband doing security for her. I just hope they have top tier security. I hope they have armed security. Anyways, Ebony says, I love Heather's kids' names. Maximilia and Colette, they all call her Coco. Yeah, the kids were cute. The kids were cute to me. But also, I feel like Heather's relationship with Terry, Dr. Terry, is actually very genuine, which I can appreciate. And they've been together 25 years. That's amazing. Heather says, she will, don't worry. Okay. Let's talk about Gina and Emily. As I said to you before, Gina and Emily, for me, is like the real friendship on the show. They also seem very down to earth. They feel very relatable, especially Gina for me. Emily is fun. Emily's got a new body. Emily's gotten some work done. She looks great. She reminds me of Khloe Kardashian when we liked her. Just saying. Love Gina. Gina for me, but Gina's been through a lot. And this is why, if you have never watched The Real Housewives of Orange County, watching this first episode, you're not going to be lost, because the great thing about Bravo and the great thing about these producers, they throw back a lot, which kind of gets you up to date. But I also see the benefit of watching and going through the emotions of all the things that the ladies have gone through over the years. Gina's been through some things on this show. The situation with her ex, oh, I was like, oh my God, she's been through a lot. So much so that she's still crying about it in the confessional. She literally had to stop the confessional because of talking about what happened with her ex. Okay. But the banter between Gina and Emily, I'm here for. I'm looking forward to it. They have each other's backs. I feel like those are really best friends in real life. Honestly, like they hang out even when they aren't filming. Emily's DUI, like she's been through some stuff on the show, which I can appreciate. I can appreciate now, though, that she's, being a little bit more light and airy. There's not a lot of drama going on with Gina, but it's good to know that she's had stuff on the show throughout the years. We need her to have a light year, but she's not going to have a light year, especially when it comes to the other ladies. Here's the moment that stood out for me. Shannon Beador. Look, I don't know about her. The way she speaks is a little strange to me. And as all of you said, she's on this whole pity party. She's got a drinking situation. As I said to you before, I am not a doctor and I am not an expert in alcoholism, so I'm not going to say that. But the way that we've seen the situation play out in recent seasons and this episode alone, there's a drinking situation. There is a drinking situation. Meme says, you have to see Emily sexy dancing from last season. Oh my God. KK says, those are the stories like Gina's domestic violence should be seen. Those are the cuts editors should build on. Yeah, she's been through a lot, but that endeared me more towards Gina because she has a lot of stuff like that happening in her real life. But at the same time, she's also a light energy on the show. I got a very light energy between her and Emily on the show. Dumont says, Emily drove me insane. She was acting as if she was excited to be asked back, and she was beyond giddy about that new body. I like Emily, though. I also like the fact that she's an attorney. The thing with OC's cast this season, yes, you have some, housewives, but you also have some professionals. You got Emily, who's an attorney. Her husband, they had to lower the bar so he could pass the bar. That was funny for me. But because I have a legal background, understand that the California bar is not easy. Shout out to all the attorneys. You guys can confirm for me. That's one of the hardest bars to pass. And all the bars are different. I'm not going to point out the ones that are easier. The attorneys know which ones are easier. Either way, when I say easier, meaning in comparison, the bar is not easy in general. However, California bar is one of the hardest, if not the hardest. So apparently he finally passed the bar. The shade of it all. Meme says, I liked Emily's old body, but she didn't. Yeah, exactly. It's her body. Either way, it's good work. Emily, if that's what you want to do with your body, it's good work. Whatever you did, I mean, she told us everything she did, which I can appreciate. See, Rasani said, oh, hold on. I have New York and California. I think you've heard. Yeah. It's Me says California labor laws alone are extensive. See, So I wasn't judging him when I mean, of course, Gina wanted to have a kiki with it because they're friends like that. They could make fun of each other like that. She can make fun of Emily's husband like that. But if you don't know, you're started thinking like, oh, her husband's a dummy. But no, the California bar is hard. Okay. Thank you, Diana, for the reminder. Let's move. You know what I got to do. Let's go to the Kempire commercial cam. Guys, don't forget, it's the holidays. Happy holidays to everyone, and happy Hanukkah for those that celebrate. Don't forget, it's time to get some gifts. Before you know it, it will be Christmas. It will be why can't I think? Kwanzaa. There we go. It's the holidays, regardless. It's a great gift to give. I love my coldest water bottle. It comes in multiple sizes, multiple colors, and you get 10% off when you use the discount code KEMP10. So many of you have been tagging me in your pictures with your coldest water bottle, and you're getting more for your family and friends. I appreciate you supporting the channel, but it's also a great gift for yourself. Get your coldest water bottle today. More information is available in the description. Guys, we're talking about the Real Housewives of Orange County, and I have to say, I'm in. I was going to get in last season, but I think I'm glad that I didn't because Kelly Dodd was a part of that cast. And Heather Dubrow was asked about Kelly Dodd when she dropped by Watch What Happens Live. And Heather is actually, she's a good housewife because she was able to respond in a shady, clever way. And I was like, okay, Kelly Dodd just gives me Nene vibes, if not worse, on after leaving, well, not leaving, being fired from the Real Housewives of Orange County. She has really had this spiral since then. And then I also posted, and I don't know if you guys saw the video that I posted when Kelly Dodd was at the same restaurant as Heather. She was taking drunken, well, allegedly, I don't know if she was drunk. She sounded like it. They were next to each other, and she was taking video footage of Heather and Terry, Dr. Terry, out and just being all loud. Yeah. Just saying. Heather, I mean, Kelly, get a life. It's me. Thank you so much for adding more information on this for those that don't know. It's me says California, New York, Colorado, Pennsylvania are just a few states where it can be hard to pass the bar. So just keep that in mind, y'all. Black Girls Code says Kempire is the coldest. Yeah. Libra, no, Tamara is not back, but she's making all kinds of headlines and was trending before the premiere last night on Twitter. Tamara, is this Tamara's way of trying to get back on the show with her beef with Shannon? I mean, I'm here for it. Wait, I'm gonna give you guys a Robin moment. Wait, let me bring Robin up. Are we mad at? Look, everybody, I just want to ask you a question. Are we mad at Tamara? Should Tamara come back? Because you know with Robin, she's got to know first. So are we mad at Tamara? Are we mad at Tamara? Do we want Tamara to come back? Let me know in the chat, y'all. Jenna, thank you so much for the super chat. Emily's husband saying he thought he would be gay by now in a preview when she asked, can they believe they've been married? He didn't say gay. He said dead. Jenna, right? Did I mishear that? Because I literally watched it again. I thought he said he thought that he would be dead by now, not gay. That would have been funny. Did I hear that wrong? Jenna, thank you so much for the super chat. But did I hear that wrong? Yeah, okay, yes, he said. I was like, wait, he said that. That made it even a little bit more interesting. Uh-oh. Meme says Tamara is a snake. No Tamara, please. Wow. Oh, everyone said yeah. Okay. Okay. I mean, that would have been more interesting if he said gay. Wait, are there gay rumors? Just saying. I would prefer Tamara over Shannon. Okay, guys, let's pick. No, I'm going to make a poll. Look, I'm going to make a poll. For those that are just joining us, we're talking about the Real Housewives of Orange County. We're going to recap the season. So far, I'm in. Let me do a quick little poll on the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. Guys, we are live on multiple platforms, including my TikTok, What's Going On TikTok, and we're live on the Kempire and Kempire Daily on Twitter, the Kempire and Kempire Daily on Facebook. Be sure to follow me on those platforms as well. We're also live on the Kempire on Twitch. Let me do a quick poll. If you had to choose between Shannon or Tamra on RHOC, who would you pick? All right. Tamra, Shannon, and then I'm going to give you the option, neither. All right. Guys, if you'd like to vote on this poll, head on over to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. And while you're there, if you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe to the channel because you're not just getting reality TV recaps, you're getting everything in pop culture. All right. I'll check back in just a second. We already have over 200 people watching. Be sure to like the video if you haven't liked it already. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. Let's get to 100 likes, and I'll drop the call-in link so you guys can weigh in and share your thoughts on the first episode and your thoughts on past episodes of the Real Housewives of Orange County. Oh, Lord. You guys are already going in. Britt says Shannon's in the middle for a reason. I pick her over Tamra. Oh, shoot. Okay. Jack says, oh, neither. I mean, I'm glad that Shannon's there this season because she seems like she's been a part of it for a very long time. And there's been a lot of stuff that she's gone through. I need to go back and watch some of the old episodes because I do want to see her home. First of all, when they refer to your home as an estate, okay. It's an older home. Her decor is older. I have to give it to Heather Dubrow. She had more of a more modern, up-to-date feel. But of course, she recently built this home. Just saying. All right, let me just look at the poll already. Let's get to 100 votes before I reveal. Damn, it's close. Shannon, you're not doing well in this poll. Damn. All right, I'll get back to that in just a second. Box to Girl said, oh, hold on. Shannon's home had a basketball court. Yeah, I did see that. They showed a clip of that, which was big. It was a big room. And then, once the kids grow up, you could always change that room to something else. A big closet, 2 stories, 3 stories. But her husband cheated on her. And everyone says that, oh, she really made, this woe is me, like her storyline for the last few seasons. And even in this season, this episode, when they take a tour of Heather's home, it's sort of like you literally, if you can go back and watch that tour, just pay attention to Shannon throughout the tour. It's just sort of like, because if it was you or I, we'd be like, oh my God, we would be Gina. Gina is us as she's going throughout this home. It would have been like, what? You have a hidden bathroom? Gina did that with her home. Honestly, though, you think I would have been impressed with her closet, but I look at closets all the time. Goals. Her closet's nice. Don't get me wrong. It's just not for me. I didn't love the closet. It was kind of boring, to be honest with you. I think Dr. Tiffany Moon on Real Housewives of Dallas had a better closet. Both of them have locks on it, though. Just saying. But backtracking before we get to that, Shannon with her daughters, which I always love seeing the housewives with their children because you get a different energy from them, probably a more real energy from them. But the biggest thing that I got from her shopping with her daughters, when her daughter said she might be moving to Texas for forever, she's like, "What about Zika?" I said to myself as I was watching it live on TikTok, I said, "Is Zika still a thing? Is that still around? Are women still being sterilized by Zika?" I was confused, y'all. I don't know about y'all. But that in that moment, because I don't have a lot of back history with Shannon, it made me like her in the moment. I said, "You're funny." But she was serious. She was serious. Okay. We're also introduced to a new housewife, Dr. Jen. Dr. Jen. I don't know how I feel about Dr. Jen, but I do hear, according to reports, that she has a lot of legal situations from the past, including one with her ex-billionaire. I got to do some research on her. So far, we didn't get a lot from her, but we do know she's a doctor. She has a med spa. We can get all the little things done. Shout out to Bronwyn. Not only did Shannon and the other ladies meet Dr. Jen at Bronwyn's vow renewal, I hear Bronwyn got a new girlfriend. No one cares. You're no longer on the show. Not only that, Noella is Bronwyn's ex-friend. What happened there? I thought they were still friends. We will get to Noella in a second, because we've been talking about Noella for a while now. So Bronwyn was mentioned a couple times in this episode. So I was like, damn. Do you guys like Bronwyn? Do you like Bronwyn? Do you think Bronwyn should come back? Not based on what I heard. Her allegedly giving, is it even alleged? Didn't she admit to it? Giving Shannon's daughter. Okay. I'm not going to say it. Oh, Mama Allie says Shannon is a super hypochondriac. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Okay. She's a hypochondriac. It's funny, though. She said Zika, though. I said, where did she pull that from? It's COVID. She could have easily said COVID, but I guess it's not, that's everywhere. But Zika? Celia says Bronwyn is team too much. Damn. Thank you, Tracy. What's going on, Taurus Bro? Do a battle of the houses. Pull up the pictures and we can vote on the better bathroom, kitchen, and closet. Okay, but I got to do some homework on that, Tracy. But that is a brilliant idea. And I originally wanted to pull up the pictures of Heather Dubrow's home, but we will do a separate, maybe next week when we recap OC, and I'll pull up all of the pictures, and then we can, because we love to look through property. I love property. Thank you so much for the super chat, Tracy. TD says Bronwyn can stay gone. All right. Speaking of staying gone, let me just tell you the poll results. So I asked the question: if you had to choose between Shannon and Tamra on RHOC, who would you pick to come back? Overwhelmingly, people said Tamra. 45%. Shannon came in at 17%. And then the other option was neither. That's at 39%. So people are on the fence, but Shannon, this might be your last season. Oh, damn. All right. Hold on. Let me see what you have to say. Okay, Jordan says, go through her tour on YouTube. It's amazing. A lot of people said that, and I have not had a chance because, look, I've been busy. But I love Heather's home. There are certain things I would change just for my personality, but overall, it's a beautiful home. It's a big home, and we're going to see more of it now that she's back. Danielle, thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, I forgot to shimmy for everybody. Shimmy! I know it's the holidays. I need to get like some jingle bells. Oh, I don't have any here. I'm going to get some jingle bells. Don't worry, y'all. Heather has a whole YouTube channel about her building her house from the ground up. Yes. Okay, so I got homework to do, y'all. I got homework to do. I got to see that. That sounds amazing. But also at the same time, girl, you're in California where they like to rob people. So just saying. PTY says Tamra is good at pot stirring. Then why didn't they not bring her back? Let me know about that in the chat. Matter of fact, though, I'm going to drop the call-in link because we reached our goal of 100 likes. Let me drop the call-in link. Maybe you guys can explain to me why they did not bring her back. Did she not have a storyline? Was she not willing to do what she needed to do to film? Isn't she supposed to be on the second season of The Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip? Or did I make that up? Isn't she on there with Vicky? All right, let me just drop the call-in link. And guys, while I'm doing that, be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. Shout out to everyone that's already sent super chat. Shout out to Team Kempire and Royal Court members. If you'd like to become a member of the channel, head on over to teamkempire.com for more details. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my podcast, Kempire Radio, where I talk about some hot topics that I don't talk about anywhere else. And I also drop tea that I don't drop anywhere else. So be sure to subscribe, Kempire Radio, on all major podcast platforms. For more details and links, head on over to kempireradio.com. All right. All right. I see some familiar faces. All right. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Hold on. Her grandma's storyline was whack. Damn. Yes. Thanks, St. J. Tamara and Vicky are on Ultimate Girls Trip season 2 at the Berkshires. Okay. Medina says, no, Vicky, please. Poor Vicky went out. Vicky went out in such a sad way. I think Tamara wanted money. Oh, and you know how they get, especially right now with the Real Housewives franchise. They're not giving out the money like they used to. St. J says, Heather's in a gated community in Newport Beach. Okay. Oh, all right, St. J. You know way too much. I mean, even if you're in a gated community, does that stop burglaries? Who installed the security system in the Dubrow's home? I hope it wasn't Teddy Mellencamp's husband. Just saying. This can't be good for his business. Is business bad going on for Teddy Mellencamp's husband? Ida says, am I the only one who thinks Heather's house is just too much? No, because Heather's house is for, if it was just Heather and Terry, I'd be like, that's too much. If it was just me, that might be too much. I'm going to have a family to have a big house like that, to be honest with you. But she has a big family. Not to say that she needs that big house for that family, but at least she has a house where people are running through it. Just saying. Anyways, let me take some callers. And as a reminder, guys, the views and opinions of the callers do not represent myself or the Kempire LLC. Thank you to my mods for always reminding people of that. All right, let's take some callers. And wait, let me get a lozenge because I'm already talking a lot. Guys, don't forget, we will be recapping the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip later today at 5 p.m. Eastern. Join our texting community. That way you don't miss out on when we're having it. But I already told you, just in case you missed that. And if you're watching the replay of this, let me know your thoughts on the first episode of season 16 of the Real Housewives. I'm about to say Ultimate Girls Trip. Real Housewives of Orange County. All right. Rasani's here. Rasani, where you been?
Hey, look, busy.
Working, I understand.
How you been doing?
I'm great.
I've been catching your replay, though.
I appreciate that. Rasani, first of all, I'm sure have you been watching OC since the beginning?
Yes, it was the first franchise. I started with OC, and I just carry on with them, even if I don't care for it.
So in comparison to last season and now this first episode, how do you feel about it?
Much better so far.
Wow. And just from the one episode, why is that?
Last season, it was just horrific. It was like New York horrific.
Wow. Damn, that's bad.
But to be fair, when they filmed that, it seems as if it was like we were like really, really in the heart, really, really in the beginning of COVID, where things were locked down in California.
Yeah.
Emily and her husband got COVID. He was in the hospital.
Wow.
She couldn't go visit, all that stuff. But so I'll give them that fairness that they were like really in the thick of COVID, where it might be a little notch better than New York. But yeah. Okay. But I did appreciate the first episode. I do think Tamara is better over Shannon for this reason. Tamara knows how to stir the pot and how to keep the storyline moving. And from what I heard, the reason she didn't come back was because they wanted to bring her back as a friend off. And she's like, I know my worth. Yada, 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 yada.
I did hear that. And now it's coming back to me. I did hear that.
Shannon, when you go back to like the episodes where she just came in, she was okay, but I'm not saying that it's right, and I'm giving her and him a little grace. She's an energy vampire. I understand why her husband cheated on her.
Oh, God. It's
I mean,
getting a little cold in here. Hold on. It's getting a little cold in here.
no, seriously, Kempire, seriously. If I were her husband, I would have cheated on her too. She drive. Yeah. When you go back and you watch, you'll see what I'm talking about. She's just too much. I love Heather's home. I think the difference, I mean, yes, the difference are Shannon did build, she and her husband at the time, they did build their home from scratch. And apparently she put crystals in the ground and all that good stuff. I think she might have gotten the wrong crystals because it didn't really work for her benefit. I'm interested in Noella.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to know why she and what's her face, Bronwyn, aren't speaking anymore.
Yeah,
I didn't like the fact that they touched on it but didn't elaborate on it.
yeah.
So I want to know what's going on back there. And from what I heard, I can't remember if I heard it from you or if it was from Adam, where they said that the reason, what's her name, Nicole? What's her name? The one that the show, what that was the main headline.
Oh, Nicole.
Nicole. That because of the Terry Heather lawsuit, whatever, and then bringing it up, Heather gave Bravo like an ultimatum: I won't film with her. I don't, so that's why she got chopped down to a friend of, but she was really supposed to be a part of it.
Yeah, it makes sense. The first episode's all about her.
Yeah, but I mean, in my opinion, if that's the case, Heather is okay, but she's not. She's just fancy, and it comes off very pretentious. And I understand why she does come off really, really pretentious. But realistically, if it was like between Heather and Tamra, you should have stuck with Tamra because, like I said, Tamra knows how to stir the pot, and she keeps the storyline moving.
Oh.
Heather was not that for me. But when you go back and watch, you can watch and tell me if you see something different.
Oh, okay. All right, Rasani. Thank you.
But I'll continue watching.
I'm gonna go back. Thank you for calling in.
Hopefully I can keep up with your lives. If I don't, have a happy holiday. Love the decorations and I love the snow. We should keep the snow going.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
We didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to talk about Noella. So I wasn't sure if Noella, if she had any Black in her. Well, they confirmed this episode because I follow Noella on social media and she is very support Black business. There's a few things. And I was like, is she biracial? Well, they confirmed that in this episode that she is biracial, but not just that. Noella comes in hot when she meets up with Heather and Nicole. She shares that, on the first date, I slept with my husband. We have a dungeon. Where is Candy? Because we get to see the dungeon. I wasn't impressed with the dungeon, though. She said the dungeon, it was chic. I said, no, it's not. Like, look, like I have dungeons and like I have a chic dungeon. But when she said chic dungeon, that's not what jumped into my mind. It looked like a dungeon. No. I like Noella, though. But when she said I was a welfare baby, I was like, huh? But I'm impressed with her mom. Her mom, I guess, came from nothing, became an attorney, started her own law firm. She has a very close relationship with her mom. We already know, if you watch the blogs, Noella's going through a situation right now, separation, divorce. And it's because apparently, allegedly, her husband did not tell her about the millions of dollars that he's in debt and owes the IRS, allegedly. Because she's so used to living this lavish lifestyle, private planes, they show us her home. It's a very sad situation, but it reminds me very much of Erica Jane and Tom Girardi because he's an injury attorney. He's an injury attorney. He's living this lavish lifestyle. How? Yes, you can make a lot of money, but again, another one that we're going to be watching. Not so sweet, sweet James. But Noella, I appreciate her being so candid, but also very kooky. We get this very kooky personality from Noella, and I'm like, I kind of like it. Some people might not like it, but I like it. I like it. I'm here for it. I want to see more of it. We didn't get a lot of Noella, but we got introduced to Noella. It'll be interesting to see how she interacts with the other ladies. I kind of see her doing very well with Emily and Gina, but we haven't seen them hang out. It was really interesting to see Shannon, Emily, and Gina, and Heather, and Nicole, and Noella have lunches at the same time. Them showing both at the same time. They're drinking regular drinks. They're drinking champagne. It was the polarities for me. Okay. I do want to say thank you, Linda, for the super chat. Shimmy. Linda says, Tamara does not need a storyline. Her life is sometimes a mess all the time. Oh, she keeps the pot and the drink stirring. Fans since season 1, episode 1. All right. So bring Tamara back. I mean, Tamara was trending before the premiere. They may need to bring Tamara back. At least she seems to be in a good place with Bravo. So they will bring her back. Kelly Dodd, very much like Nene Leakes. I think it's done for Nene. I mean, well, Nene too. But it's definitely done for Kelly. It's definitely done for Kelly. What else did I want to talk about? So the way this episode ends is at the party at Heather's home, which looks lovely. But Gina and Emily talk about the hot tea about Nicole suing Dr. Terry Dubrow. And everyone's like, why is that a thing? It would be different if Nicole had slept with Terry and Heather Dubrow didn't know. But this lawsuit, what was this lawsuit about? And why wouldn't Heather know about it, especially if she's been hanging out with this woman and taping with this woman? Wouldn't Dr. Terry say something? I don't know why that's a thing. And why Shannon, although she's trying to make it seem like, I don't want you to say anything about it. You promised that you wouldn't say anything about it. But then at the same time, you're like, to Emily, look it up. Because, attorneys have access to, litigation and things like that. They have portals that they can find out, lawsuits and whatnot. I mean, we do too, technically. But so she's telling Emily, look it up. Gina's like, why did you tell us this? I feel like, I like Heather. I want to be her friend and I want to live in her house. I got to tell her. So I see a friendship developing between Emily and Gina and Heather, but I really want to see Emily, Gina, and Noella hang out, because I feel like that'd be some kooky fun, right? Don't y'all think that'd be some kooky fun? Anyways, let me get to the callers. St. J, I'm gonna bring you up. What's going on, St. J?
Howdy, I was like, oh, well, first, you didn't shim me for my super chat.
Oh, you know what? This is feeling very Me Too-ish.
Okay, wow, where to start? So I've been watching OC, I guess, for the last 16 seasons. So I have all the thoughts. Yeah, I know, since I was like 9. Wow.
Okay, youngin.
Wow. Okay.
I'm talking to your mother.
Tamara does need to come back. I
Who
think
needs
that
to come back?
Tamara.
Okay.
She's good. She came on the show. She had opinions about the women. She was able to stir the pot, and she's always been able to do that.
Mm.
And I don't see that from any of the other girls.
Okay.
I felt like we got a whole episode dedicated to Nicole, and I think that they should have kept her as a housewife. Like it was weird.
Her not
Like
to be
we didn't see a confessional or anything. But it's all about Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think the lawsuit was a big deal.
Maybe we don't know what the lawsuit was for, so we shall see. Was it for sexual harassment? What was it for?
It's for bad plastic surgery.
Oh, I mean, which is so funny to me because he's on botch fixing bad plastic surgery. So,
I mean, he messed up once. Okay, like
he's human.
We're gonna do this. Yeah, like okay. clearly she's had a bunch of surgeries, so it's not like he scarred her for life.
Oh no.
Wow. Noella. I'm very interested in Noella. I think that it's pretty obvious Bronwyn doesn't talk to her because she's on the show and Bronwyn isn't.
Mm.
But I guess it's, when they're on the show, they have a hard time explaining why people don't talk to them because they're on the show.
Yeah. Okay.
Emily, Gina, and Shannon is a weird combination in itself because nothing has ever supported them liking Shannon.
I mean, you could tell.
Yeah, it looked forced. It looked like, well, we're the three people returning, so let's make it look like something. I can definitely see Gina and Heather getting along, but that's pretty much what the whole trailer we got for the season was: Gina becoming great friends with Heather. And the doctor, Jen, her husband's hot.
Oh my god, how did I forget that? But well, okay, wait, he's like a butterface though, very much like Jenny from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Butterface, he has a great body, but the face is it's all right.
It is but she could fix that up if she wanted to.
I mean, he's not ugly.
Exactly, Kempire, like, her husband's hot.
And the fact that he had his shirt off in every scene that we saw him, I was like, all right.
Yeah, he wants to be, he wants to be the hottest house husband.
That still remains Mauricio. Okay. Or really Juan Dixon, honestly.
I'd give it to Mauricio before Juan, but
you know what helps Mauricio? The millions and millions of dollars.
And lawsuits?
Well, don't leave Mauricio alone. We'll talk about Mauricio later.
Okay, wow. I literally just finished watching as you were going on. So I'm like, it's still fresh. I think Jen is going to be good. I guess that she stirs the pot because I watched the ladies talk about her and they said great things about Noella, and then Shannon didn't have great things to say about Jen. So I'm assuming Jen brings the drama. She looks like it.
Also going to get a divorce on the show.
I could see it.
I can see it.
I can see it. And Heather. Heather is great luxury. I don't think I can use the P word, but luxury. She's very luxurious. But Heather isn't greatly dramatic.
Oh. Okay.
And so I get that they're trying to make it more luxurious. We're seeing, Heather's huge home, and we're getting the Nobu and all of this. But they got rid of all the dramatic people.
Oh. We look. We got a couple of new people, so that remains to be seen.
But Kempire, like we've seen Jen Shaw's life fly into shambles. We've seen Erica's life fly into shambles. Like, we're just gonna rehash people's lives flying into shambles via lawsuits on just different franchises. Like, it's kind of like once you've seen it happen to one person, you already guess how it's gonna go.
Well, everyone's going to react differently to their lawsuits, so you just never know.
But Noella did a great job explaining how Sweet James is really sweet, and I hope it's just all a mistake and that they can work it out.
I guess we'll see.
And I love the background. Thanks for having me, Kempire.
Thank you so much for calling in. Bye. All right. Jesus, thank you so much for the super chat. Jesus says Apollo will always be the sex. I almost forgot about Apollo, especially because of the criminal past. Apollo is hot, but like I said, Mauricio is hot, but the millions of dollars helps too. Juan, I don't know. Thank you for the super chat. All right, Max, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Max? Max, I can't hear you.
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, there we go. Hi, how are you?
You can't hear me?
I can hear you now. Oh, all right, Max, I think there's a delay. So just do me a favor, drop out and then call back in. All right, Mama Allie, what's going on?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. So I have watched the OC from the very beginning. And so I'll give you some of my opinions on some of the people.
Okay.
I don't think Tamara will come back. I think part of it, and maybe just a small part, is Eddie, her husband now, has heart disease. And they talk about it on past seasons, and it was getting worse. And I don't want to say that it's something that, I don't know how bad it is now. I don't know if he's had any procedures or anything, but I do know that that was a big concern of hers. She had mentioned it on a couple of the whatchamacallit interviews. So I know about that. And then also she wants a lot of money to come back. She was one of those that said, I want this amount of money and I'm not coming back. And so I don't know that she would come back. And I don't want her back. She was one of those that she was great at stirring the pot. She was great at causing division and things like that and causing drama. But some of it was just flat out lies, and some of it was just, it was BS. And so you're sitting there going, I don't know. I just don't want her back. She was exhausting. She was very exhausting.
All right.
And as for Shannon, Shannon's a hypochondriac. And I mean that like legitimately uber hypochondriac.
Like
she always has a bag that she takes with her on trips and stuff. And it's all holistic stuff. And she goes to all holistic doctors. So she's concerned about everything in the world and goes and does everything holistic. And so that's just kind of funny. That's just to let you know, because you didn't know that that's why she mentioned the Zika virus.
Out of nowhere.
But she's also one of these people that she will stir the pot. I don't know if she knows she's stirring the pot. I think she says stuff and doesn't realize maybe it's the alcohol, maybe it's not. But that she says things and doesn't realize the repercussions of what she says. So I think that's kind of what we're seeing now, is she says, she tells Gina and Emily about this lawsuit, and then it's like, but don't tell anyone. Oh my God, don't tell anyone. And then her OCD comes out and she obsesses over whether or not it's going to cause drama, and then therefore she causes the drama. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's the kind of personality she is. So she's very, I don't know like traumatizing. Like she almost traumatizes everybody with nothing. Like it's just, saying, I like your red sweater. It would cause drama and trauma, and everyone would be crying. And that's the kind of, so I don't necessarily like her being on there as well, but I understand that they kind of needed a bridge between Emily and Gina. Okay. And on them, they were friends before the show. They were best friends before the show.
You could tell.
So, and they were best friends during the show. Last season, we got to see Emily. It was either last season or the season before. We got to see Emily get jealous of Gina being friended by somebody else. So I'm wondering if that's going to happen with Heather. Is she going to get jealous again? But I will say, when her husband got COVID, she kind of, her attitude seemed to change. So I'm giving her a little bit of leeway and hoping that she's not as whiny as she was in past seasons. But here's fingers crossed to that. And I mean, I could go on forever, so I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, there's a lot of backstories to each of these women, and Heather has one as well, so.
All right, Mama Allie, thank you so much for calling in.
Have a good day.
You too. Jack, thank you so much for the super chat. Jack says, Noella strikes me as a fair weather friend. Kind of. Left Brownwind, I guess he meant Bronwyn, or maybe meant that on purpose. When public turned on her, left husband right away with the tax issue. Apollo as my cellmate. I mean, when you point it out like this, Noella might be a fair weather friend. Because she really did not waste a moment throwing her husband under the bus when the tax situation came out. Look, thank you so much for the super chat. Let me take these last couple of callers. Max, I'm going to bring you up. Max, what's going on?
Is it better now?
So much better.
Okay, good. How are you doing, Kempire?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I've been a big fan of the Real Housewives of Orange County. It was like the first Housewives iteration that I got into because of Tamra and Vicky with their craziness and their drama and their storylines. I don't know if anyone mentioned that Vicky, her husband, or not her husband, I guess her boyfriend at the time had a fake cancer scandal that went on for like 2 seasons. Yeah, but when I watched this first episode of the season, I saw Heather in like a little bit of a different light from what I'm used to. Because, I mean, Heather, I know she's fancy pants, whatever. She's luxurious. But the house tour, it just kind of went on a little bit longer than I wanted. Like,
it's a big house.
Huh?
It's a big house.
It is a big house, but it was just like, Shannon, touch the hot towels. Feel the hot towels. Feel how warm they are. And then like, oh, we had the biggest container in the U.S. sending in our chandelier. Like, it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's because we haven't seen that much opulence in OC for a while, but hopefully that's done. That's out of the way. Now we can focus on like, being an interesting housewife.
She'll see if she's going to bring it.
We'll see. I don't know. I was really hoping Tamra was going to be on the season. I really don't like Vicky. But Tamra, yeah, I don't know. Vicky, like, girl, I'm a drag queen. And Vicky was saying something in the last season that she was on, like, oh, I don't understand drag. And I felt like she was continually disconnecting herself from like her. I don't think she realizes that the LGBT community was really into Vicky.
Really?
Yeah. And like, I don't know. I feel like that they know that the Housewives have a huge LGBT base.
Yeah.
So on that final season, I feel like the reason why they didn't bring her back is like, I mean, she was fighting with Andy in that reunion. She ended up leaving like before the last part of the reunion. Like, he was like, Vicky, you can go. Everyone else stays. It was very bizarre. I've never seen that.
She went out pretty bad.
Yeah, she didn't go out too great, but I was hoping to see Tamra because Tamra does bring more fire, like everyone's been saying, than Heather does. Mm-hmm. Heather's always been kind of like, she's been in the middle, but she does have her fights occasionally, but it usually has to do with like ethics, like, that's not right. A woman should never say that. Like, we are not those kind of women. She's gone off on Kelly quite a bit, but I don't know. I'm hoping to see something more.
I agree. Okay, Max, thank you for calling in.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Oh, sorry. Onyx, I agree. If you do not follow Don Gobelson on Twitter, he needs to take this act on the road. He is really, really funny. And I'm not just saying that. He's funny. Like funny. All right. Danielle, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Danielle?
Hey there. Happy afternoon.
Is it? Oh, yes, it is.
It is. It's 1:13. So piggybacking on Don, I follow him on Twitter. He's hilarious. I think he watches all the cities because he makes a comment about every city, everyone. He always goes back to the pig. Like, he is legitimately funny for no reason. I even have my Twitter notifications on to let me know when he tweets something because it just comes at the right moment. Like if you're stressed out and then here comes a tweet from Don and it just makes you laugh at the moment. He's funny. So everyone needs to follow Don on Twitter.
I don't even follow him. It just comes up.
Oh, yeah, no.
Like Housewives stuff. But it always comes up and I'm like, this guy is funny.
He's hilarious. Okay, I took a few notes because I'm agreeing with a lot of what people are saying, so I'm going to be quick.
Okay.
I agree with Max that just hung up about Vicky. Vicky reminds me of Ramona. Now, where Vicky really did start, and let me back up. I've been watching OC since day one, like everyone else that called in. I fell up on it because to me, it was the adult version of Laguna Beach. And since Laguna Beach was based in OC here, and that was about the kids, here we are learning about the women, the wives. So that's why basically, yeah, the parents. So I've been watching since day one. I've never missed an episode. I've told you that before. I've been with this whole Housewives crap since day one. I agree with Max. Vicky is so disconnected. And she's disconnecting herself. It's like she doesn't want to listen or know about the world she lives in now. She wants to stay in her little gated community and just do her insurance and just be all up under her kids and rah, rah, rah. And her kids can't stand her. They try to get as far as away from her as they can. But I understand why. She had the boyfriend that lied about his cancer. Then she tried to protect him. And then she never took ownership of anything. So that sucked when it came to Vicky. Vicky was just a mess. So I'm glad to see her go. Again, she's a lot like Ramona. The show is good without her. Cool. Gina is a straight New Yorker, and Gina gives it to you. Like, and she said that since her first time coming, she's like, I'm not used to this West Coast stuff. I'm an East Coast girl.
Is that why you like her?
That's why you like her. Yeah, she's a New Yorker. She's a straight shooter, and she doesn't like the sitting in your face, smiling in your face, but then talking about you behind your back. That's not her, and she doesn't like it. And she said that since the beginning. I like Gina. I like Gina with Emily. I like Emily because she's not a little skinny person, even though she's lost some weight since she's been on the show, but she gives us like a real sized woman. So I like that about Emily. Not too keen on Emily's husband, but he's a funny relief. So I get over him. I was about to say something I shouldn't say. It's just something about.
Well, can you head on over to TextKempire.com and text what you wanted to say?
Yes, I will. But Shane, I think, because in the beginning, when they first came on the show, I didn't like the way he was treating Emily.
Oh.
And he had his own little issues. And again, I'll put that in the text. I'll text the 347 number. And it's just my opinion. So that's why I'm going to keep it, because I don't want to get you banned or I don't get people all ruffled in the comments. Tamra. Oh, I never liked Tamra. Tamra is definitely a pot stirrer. But like Mama Ali said, she never owned anything she did. She always lied. She stirred up a bunch of lies. And it's almost kind of like a Mia type situation. Remember, Mia would repeat something, but she repeat how she interpreted it.
No.
That was Tamra, but add more lies. So it was like the way Tamra.
Really?
Yeah, Tamra would put her whole little spin on it of how, well, you said this, but this is how I received it, but I added this to it. But she would never take ownership of it. And it just became messy. And then she got this sense of entitlement that people owed her because she had been like, Tamara, sit your whack self down somewhere. Shannon really wanted to be what Heather is. When Shannon first came to the show, Shannon had the house, she had the husband, she had her girls and like debutante this and debutante that. And she was talking about how Shannon reminds me of so I don't know if there's a Jack and Jill version for the white community. Jack and Jill's like a black community thing. Shannon was trying to put her kids in like the white version of Jack and Jill events and just that upper echelon of lifestyle. And Shannon's kids were not here for it. The husband wasn't here for it. They was like, stop it. This is not who we are. Cut it out. But when she got the divorce, we now see Shannon for who she really is. The kids just don't really deal with her. And she's a mess. She's crazy. Shannon is crazy. I don't think she's going to last long. She has a meltdown every single season. And the meltdown this year and it's always her fault because once again, she says something and expects people not to repeat it. And she's like, oh, and she just goes all crazy.
You don't think she's just a great self-producer?
Maybe now, maybe she's finally figured out the ropes to self-produce, but I think part of her self-production is who she really is too.
Before you continue, let me just address the super chat. Linda, thank you so much for the super chat. Heather does not being any drama. Oh, does not bring any drama. Tamara, Vicky, and Lydia ran off in Mexico to get away from Heather. It was epic. Love Donchi. Apparently, people tell me that account it's actually a parody account. It's not really Don Gunvalson.
It's still funny, so follow it.
I mean,
and it's very accurate with the stuff they say, so just follow it.
I know.
So everyone doesn't like Heather, but Heather doesn't really bring drama. Heather kind of rides the fence, and Heather is a stickler about how ladies should act in public and how you should be this. So, and I know
talking about your sex dungeon at the table.
So, and I know St. J said he doesn't want to use the P word, but in a sense, Heather is very pretentious.
Someone else in that in my comments on TikTok. Hey TikTok, and I was like, well, if that's just her personality, she can still be pretentious and that be a personality.
And I don't mind it though. That's why we like her. She's like, oh, we're gonna have a glass of champs. And when I remember when she first said that on the show, people were like, what are champ? Why didn't you just say champagne? Because that's how Tamara Tamara had to learn to like Heather because Tamara wasn't used to that. I think part of it is Heather is what they really strive to be, but they don't know how to turn their air quotation ghetto side off to get to this level of luxuriousness as St. Jason. Heather, I love Heather. And I watched those YouTube videos that she was uploading about the house. They're about 8 minutes long. She uploaded one every week almost. And it was during the lockdown, so we had nothing else to watch anyway, but they were really good. And they were showing her picking out the stuff for the office area, the offices that sit in front of the house. It was very detailed. They were short and to the point, but it was just a breath of fresh air. And I love Heather and I'm glad to see her back. I do remember, and I don't know where I saw this, so I can't quote my source, but I do remember Terry having lawsuits or people saying his plastic surgery skills aren't that great. So I never understood why he was on botch to begin with to correct people's stuff when the word on the street was he wasn't that great to begin with. And if I'm not mistaken, there was another plastic surgery show that kind of fixed other doctors' mess up. It was all women. And one of the patients came to one of those doctors because they had gone to Terry before. So that's my 2 cents. I'm excited. I didn't know OC was back, but I'm excited. That's where we started with Housewives. And I'm here for Noella. I'm here for all the foolishness.
So you liked Noella?
I do. I enjoyed last night's episode. I didn't know it was on. So by the time I got in fooling around with Twan at the bar, I had something to watch while I did my work.
A mess. All right. Thank you, Danielle, for calling in.
Bye, guys.
Hi. All right. Florence, I'm going to bring you up in just a second. Let me just say thank you to Linda. Thank you so much for the super chat. Linda says, Tamara called Heather Fancy Pants, and that became her nickname. Hence the title, The Return. I forgot what's the name of the episode. Fancy Pants is back. But you saw the thumbnail of my live. I said Fancy Who because I'm in love with the quirky, weird drama that's coming for Noella. We got introduced to Noella this episode. I thought she brought a lot. In the very first episode, we found out about her relationship with Sweet James. We found about her mom and how she grew up and all in this first episode. And we also found out that she has a sex dungeon. Candy could never. She actually has one. And she's telling us about it. That's probably what got her on the show. It was that. We talked about it in Atlanta, and now we actually have one. And we got to see it this episode. I wonder if we're going to see it again. Are we going to meet Sweet James? Because I know that they're divorcing right now. Has he pulled that divorce? This is such a crazy situation. Hey, Noella. Okay. Florence, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire. So nice to meet you. So I'll just get right to it. I was when they said OC was coming back with Heather, I had mixed feelings because I've watched it like other people from the beginning, and Heather was just, I'm sorry to say, she is very pretentious. She's annoying. Like, come on, you don't have to brag. Just show it and just let us make our opinions on the greatness of the home. Just show it, and we'll make comments. I don't think she's going to be good enough to save the show. I feel like when the show started back in the day, it was that rich women behind the gated community with the big money. And then slowly, when people like Kelly and Tamara became on the show, and they made it a little guttery, especially Kelly. Let's keep it real. That mouth of hers, which was funny because she would say whatever came out, and you were like, "Oh hell!" But sorry. But that's what made it fun. I don't think Gina and Emily are fit for the show. I think it's time to move on from them, and this probably will be their last season because
Really?
they're not. They don't bring it. Bless her heart. Gina does not give me the lifestyle that I'm looking for. Gina lives like me, basic as F. Like, no, I want to see big money. I want to see, someone who can, afford to throw these big parties. And
but don't we need a balance? Because we have Heather and I mean, I guess Shannon can technically do it, right? No,
I can just look at my friends if I wanted basic. I'm just joking.
No. Friends right now, they're listening.
So we shall see. I mean, when I did see the previews for the next, I guess for the seasons, I am excited to kind of see Noelle and her little situation with her husband. So, and I was confused on how Heather was not aware that woman sued her husband allegedly. Well, and then if that woman knew she sued her husband, you're being a little fake all in my face when you know you sued my husband. Like I'm confused.
Right, that part.
Yeah. And I tried to do my little research, and it's online. Things aren't clear. So I'm sure somebody will do some digging. And so, but thank you, Kempire. That's it.
Thank you so much for calling in, Florence. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye. Wait, someone said, Poodle Pom Pom says, we are all basic. Let's be real. Shut up. How dare you? Danielle, thank you so much for the super chat. Danielle says Mauricio because he has money, Juan because of his athletic body. You like a Juan body because you like Nathan from the Insecure too. Apollo because we all like a little bit of thug in our life. But speak for yourself. I would sleep with one eye open with Apollo. What you doing over there? Let me see your phone. Oh, now you have a job. Why are you dressing up? Just saying. Paul's cute, but Paul's the reason why a pretty face isn't everything. Just saying. Just saying. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. I just want to say thank you to everyone that sent in the super chat. Thank you to everyone that called in. Thank you to our Team Kempire Royal Court members. If you'd like to become a member, head on over to teamkempire.com. And of course, thank you to our moderators for being here and allowing us to have a fun, open conversation in the chat. So shout out to all of our mods and shout out to everyone watching on multiple platforms, TikTok, on Twitch and Twitter, and also on Facebook. Guys, be sure to subscribe to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel if you haven't already. And if you haven't liked this video, be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. So thank you in advance. Also, don't forget, a new episode of my podcast will be coming out later today. So be sure to subscribe to Kempire Radio on all major podcast platforms. We will be live again at 5 p.m. Eastern to recap the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. If you did not watch it, you have time now. You have 3 hours or so, 3.5 hours to watch it. So watch it, take some notes. I will be taking callers. We'll be live at 5 p.m. Eastern here on the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Guys, don't forget, get your coldest water bottle. It's the holidays. Discount code KEMP10 for 10% off. They're very good about getting your bottles to you very quickly. So be sure to get your coldest water bottle today. Shout out to everyone in the back. Hey, Canary, Kempire, your decorations are so good. Thank you guys so much. I think I'm kind of done. I don't want to do too much. I might add a little bit more lights. So stay tuned for that, guys. Diana Diana says 11 more likes. Let's get 11 more likes, guys. If you haven't already, let's get to 200 likes already before we leave. Let's get to 200 likes. I'll play some music on the way out. This is the kind of music they would play in Heather's house.